After the shortest away trip of the season on Boxing Day, Spennymoor Town start the new year by returning the favour here at Blackwell Meadows this afternoon. Alan Armstrong makes 2 changes to the side beaten by Gateshead on Tuesday, welcoming back Will Hatfield to the starting 11 and restoring Jarrett Rivers. Luke Charman also plays as we await a decision on his suspension next week. For the visitors, Stephen Thompson, an ex-Darlow legend, returns to the starting lineup in place of Frank Mulhern.
Darlington free kick is 10 yards inside the Spennymoor half. Rose and Hatfield over it. Again, Spennymoor's lines outside their 18-yard box, so there is some space to attack. Dayleve, the goalkeeper's standing position, is just about the edge of his 6-yard box. Hatfield comes, decent flat delivery, but it's headed clear by Spennymoor first. Hatfield wins the next one. Luke Charman comes and picks it up on the edge of the 18-yard box, goes through the gap, gets to the byline, pulls it across. Nobody could get a touch. Great play by Charman. 3 or 4 chances Darlington have had to put good, well-angled set pieces into the box.
Yeah, that was like a mirror image of the free kick we've had a couple of times, wasn't it? And it just hasn't found the right player yet, or the right delivery.
Probably more valuable than a corner, those sort of angled ones, if you can get them there. Hatfield leaps highest to win a header and drops it down to Rivers. Rivers then finds Charman. Charman's going to push it past his man, and he's left him for dead. Charman bursting into space down the left-hand side. Ramshaw just managed to get back to him, and then Charman picks the ball up as the shot. Eve gets both hands on it and makes the save. Throw in for Spennymoor taken and returned by Thompson. Lawler competes with Glenn Taylor. Smith's got some defending to do over there on that far side, and he blocks an attempted cross which goes out for a Spennymoor corner.
I think the Fudu just hooked that back, and then when the cross came in, Smith charges it down.
I'm not feeling optimistic about that floodlight over there at the moment, because the other floodlight pylons are starting to flicker into life, and that one that didn't work on Boxing Day hasn't come on yet. Right hand side as they attack the open end. It's on the penalty spot. It's missed by everybody apart from Glenn Taylor. Danny Ellis came to get the header, and Glenn Taylor has volleyed it. He's stood all on his own. He's had a free volley, and he's found the back of the net in front of those Spennymoor fans.
Nobody's watching him. And how can you say nobody's watching Glenn Taylor, of all people? And he's able to just catch that on the volley into the roof of the net. Maybe give the crossbar a little nick on the way in.
Poor defending.
The visitors lead.
Poor defending. Taylor's had to do nothing to win that. It's come to him knee high on the volley. He stood still, I think, at the time. Ellis came to attack the ball and didn't get it. He was having a word with the referee afterwards. I don't know if he thought he was blocked or something like that, but Glenn Taylor is the danger man. He is the centre forward in form in this league that scores goals, and we've left him stood inside 8 yards to volley the opening goal. 15th
league goal this season for Glenn Taylor. He just stood and watched that ball come to him. The problem is, so did everyone in black and white.
I said it before the goal, it does seem a bit flat around here. I know it's not the easiest of places to try and generate an atmosphere, but we've done it plenty of times before. It just seems just flat around the place. It did before the goal.
Yeah, the Darlow have played reasonably well, but the game's currently lacking anything that's kind of, obviously the Spennymoor fans have had their moment now, but it just needs something to get the noise levels up, like a near miss or even
Taylor's
an equaliser.
One ahead of that. It's come to Ramshaw. Tommy Taylor's had to make a good save, and that's another good opportunity for Spennymoor. Again, Glenn Taylor winning the ball, and Ramshaw feeding off the scraps. Taylor making a good save. Now Darlington will break through Charman on the right hand side. Charman's gone past Stephen Thompson like he's not there. Still going. Luke Charman still going. Gets all the way towards the byline and earns Darlington a throw in. I don't know if does Charman swap wings or is he just not returned?
He's certainly out on the right hand side there, wasn't he? But he's been playing on the left the rest of it. Let's see if he stays out here. Very nearly winning Darlington their first corner, but Scott McLean just prevents that from crossing the byline, so it's a throw in instead.
Throwing his return to Griffiths to Rivers inside to Hatfield, but that ball back to Purver means Purver has to slide and find Rose. Purver back to Ellis to Lawler to Purver, picks up Charman again goes past his man. Charman's going to shoot. Back of the net, Luke Charman. What a finish, Luke Charman. He is the star of the show so far.
Well, what can you say about that? Rides the challenge from Scott McLean. McNamara plays the advantage. Luke Charman left-footed. You're expecting him to get to it, and he doesn't. It creeps into the corner, and within 4 minutes the Quakers are level. And who else but Luke Charman?
I'm not sure how long we can keep hold of Luke Charman in this form. He's picked up the ball 5-6 times in this first half already, and Spennymoor cannot get near him.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, if you are sniffing around Luke Charman and you are listening to us today, watch these highlights because the price has just gone up. 5 games in a row for Luke Charman.
Spennymoor thrown down the line. Smith's clattered into the back of Glenn Taylor there. Wide on the right hand side, but Spennymoor have sent the 2 centre backs forward. They've got the aerial presence of Taylor up there as well. Free kick is put into the box. It's Charman who wins the header, comes back to Chandler at the edge of the box, and he's sliced across a shot there which goes many yards wide. Tommy Taylor's gone wide here, just not too far in front of us actually, to take this free kick. Taylor just clips it down the line looking for Cassidy, and Cassidy's found himself some space there down towards the corner. Cassidy gets the cross in, which comes off McLean for a nice, cheap Darlington corner.
How does he manage to have that much space to himself?
Darlington, of course, kicking towards the tin shed in this first half. Rose is going to take this one, right-hand side. All sorts of action on the goal line. Ball comes in. It's Charman who rises for it, and it's hooked over his own crossbar by Glenn Taylor, I think it is.
I think it might have been. I was about to call that as a good save by Dale Eve, but I think you might be right. I think the Spennymoor outfield player has rescued his team there.
It was Luke Charman again, wasn't it?
No.
We're going over the other side for this corner, are we?
It's looking that way. I guess it did go over the bar on that half of the goal.
Opposite side corner through Rivers this time. Rivers again sticks it right under the crossbar, but it's headed clear. Comes back to Rivers, has to let the ball bounce, can't quite get to it. He's got Rose offering him an option up the line if he wants it, but he's not played it that way yet. Still keeps possession, goes around the outside to Rose, offering the overlap. Good cross, Charman, oh it's Cassidy! How's Cassidy not get a connection on that? Back to Charman.
Oh, I think he might have just, if he'd been Cassidy was 6 inches taller, it could be 2-1, but he maybe gets something on that, but not enough to have a meaningful impact. And
39.5 minutes gone. Darlington 1, Spennymoor 1. Smith wins a header as the ball's thrown down the line, and then Charman picks it up. He's going to run at his man again. He's gone past the 2 men. Luke Charman, he's still going. Brings Curtis across with him. Comes inside Curtis, keeps going. Tries to play the little nutmeg. He's still going Charman. He's still going Charman. He's on the edge of the box. He's gone past Curtis. Just has pushed it a little bit wide as Curtis was sliding in. Finds Smith though. Darlington still alive. Ball comes in. It's headed goal bound. Just a flick header from Rivers, I think, just across the face of goal.
Cassidy again could. How? I'm just watching Luke Charman thinking how has he made it to the edge of the box from there, and then unfortunately that last touch, he's shooting after that touch. If it's not that heavy, it just forces him out a little wide. Went to take it and changed his mind again.
Trying to wind people up as usual. He aims for Taylor. Ellis wins the header. Darlington clear the lines through Griffiths. Cassidy up against Curtis in the air, and Cassidy does well on the first ball and he holds onto it for the second as well, and then takes the free kick. That's just more like it.
Waited for the contact there, didn't he? And he got what he was asking for. But a week ago, Stephen Thompson had been sent off at the end of the first half. Still 11v11 at the moment.
Hatfield takes the free kick. It's into the box. Ellis gets a header on it, but just can't quite get any power. It was goal bound, but starting a little bit slow to get it back into position there from the throw-in, I felt. So they allow it to be returned quite quickly. Ellis wins a header, meaty header on the edge of the box. Charman's going to have some defending to do. There's a shot there which Lawler blocks, and then Darlington trying to get it out. It's a heavy touch between Rose and Smith. Comes at back edge of the box, comes to Thompson at the edge. There's a chance for Thompson to shoot. It's blocked. And then it's put behind for a corner.
Well, a little bit of chaos there. And result, Spennymoor corner, but Stephen Thompson with a chance to score against his old club. Not taken, blocked. Darla just seeming to get bodies in front of everything there for a second.
Couldn't tell whether that was blocked by a defender or by Taylor from this angle that we are. Might have been Tommy Taylor making a good save. It is a corner for Spennymoor though. This is their best spell of the second half so far. Second or two to pull himself back together. I don't think there was much in it. I think Thompson was slipping actually and just accidentally caught him.
Looks like he'll be able to run that one off.
Taylor fires this one low. Purver heads it on. Cassidy back to goal but can't get it. Purver though finds Rivers. Rivers has a runner outside him in Purver. Purver's on the edge of the box. Purver. Oh, just wide, Alex Purver.
Built very quickly there, wasn't it? Rivers picking up the ball and Purver running through the middle ahead of him. Good ball from Rivers. Purver one touch, has the shot right-footed.
18 minutes to go here at Blackwell Meadows. Still Darlington 1, Spennymoor 1. Will there be a chance for either of these two teams to create some daylight? Spennymoor are going to have a free kick with a chance to do that. Callum Griffiths, I think it was, just pulled up for that one. This is a good opportunity for Spennymoor. It's only a few yards in from the sideline, but it's a chance to load the box. So far Taylor has been equal to anything, Tommy Taylor that is, that's come into his area. Centre backs are forward, ball's clipped into the box. Ellis wins the header first time, and then Rivers takes a touch where he's tipped his man there. That was a clumsy bit of play by Jarrett Rivers.
Certainly a couple of Spennymoor players who were claiming something there, but Rivers came away with the ball in the end. He was the one tackled, and Darlington get the throw in.
He resisted the temptation to just hoof it clear. He tried to bring it down, but his touch was a little heavy, and then almost caught, well, he may have caught the Chester defender inside the box. Dos Santos trying to pick up some possession, but it's hooked forward by Spennymoor. Ellis wins the header, and then it's dropped down. Rose can't find a Darlington player there, so it's wide on the left-hand side for Spennymoor. Ball comes across, and it's deflected behind for a corner. Corner from the left-hand side, near the turnstiles in that tin shed end. It's going to be a right-in swinger. All the big lads have come forward. It's a high one. It's a good one. It's going to not get a touch off anyone and go behind off Jake Cassidy. There was nobody behind him, was there? He probably could have let it just bounce out if he maybe that's a bit too risky in the last few minutes of a game.
Perhaps unaware, or as Stu says, perhaps not willing to take that risk.
Another corner, right-hand side this time. Comes all the way across. It's a one for Curtis to attack, and he's made a mess of it. There's a collision there, I think. I'm not sure who it was. Was it Callum Griffiths maybe? But
Griffiths is up and limping away. And now Curtis is up a few seconds later, but charging in on that header.
Yeah, he'd have enjoyed that one, wouldn't he?
He would have. He would have.
Throw-in is taken down the line. Ayobo wins it, and then it's pumped clear by Spennymoor. It's going to go out for a throw-in, and the referee is going to blow his full-time whistle. And over the two games over this festive period between Darlington and Spennymoor, there's nothing to be picked between them. Both games finishing in draws, and one all about fair enough, mate.
You may argue perhaps that the Quakers had the better chances, certainly at the beginning of the second half, maybe slightly edging the first half as well. But in the end, it's a point apiece for the second game. Well, the second game in a week, third game in a row. And I imagine both sides will be, Darlow maybe slightly aggrieved, but both sides will be quite happy with a point.